In the previous video, we followed August Horch, a brilliant engineer and businessman, the person who started the Audi brand in 1899. We went through the ups and downs of his business, the betrayal by partners that forced him to leave the company he created. At the same moment, they denied him using the Horch brand name in court. This forced August to come up with the Audi brand name. The brand went through a series of acquisitions. It ended up as part of the Auto Union conglomerate, which comprised Audi, DKW, Horch, and Wanderer automakers, and gave birth to the current Audi logo. We ended our previous video at the moment of the Second World War. Airstrikes largely destroyed the factories of the Auto Union, and what was left ended up being transported to USSR. The brand Audi perished for 25 long years only to be reborn. And this is our story today. At the end of 1945, an Auto Union spare parts warehouse appeared in Ingolstadt. But it was still far from full-fledged production. Only on September 3, 1949, with Germany's post-war economy starting to improve, the reformed Auto Union started to manufacture motorcycles and delivery vans under the DKW name. The company was re-registered, and the company Auto Union GmbH appeared. In the early stages, the tried and tested DKW products with their two-stroke engines were built again under the Four Rings sign. During the period of deprivation in the years following the war, there was a need for robust and reliable cars and motorbikes. As a result, models such as the DKW F89L delivery van and the DKW RT125W motorbike were developed. They were produced by the vehicle manufacturing plant in Ingolstadt. At the same time, work was underway on a DKW passenger car, which was eventually produced in the summer of 1950 in a second new plant in Dusseldorf that used to belong to Rheinmetall AG and was merely leased at first. In 1950, the group's first post-war passenger car, the DKW F89P Master Class, appeared. From 1954 onwards, Friedrich Flick gradually acquired a large stake in the equity of Auto Union GmbH. Friedrich Flick was a German industrialist and convicted Nazi war criminal. After the Second World War, he reconstituted his businesses, becoming the richest person in West Germany and one of the richest people in the world at the time of his death in 1972. His strategy was to acquire as many shares of Auto Union as possible to then find a strong partner for Auto Union in the medium term. In April 1958, Daimler-Benz AG acquired 88% of Auto Union shares, and in the following year, increased its ownership to 100%. Auto Union became a fully owned subsidiary of Daimler-Benz. However, small two-stroke cars were not the focus of Daimler-Benz interests, and while the early 1960s saw major investment in new Mercedes models and in a state-of-the-art factory for auto unions, the company's aging model range at this time did not benefit from the economic boom of the early 1960s to the same extent as competitor manufacturers such as Volkswagen and Opel. A reliance on the two-stroke engine, a lack of model updates, and increasing competition meant that sales of DKW vehicles were on a downward spiral throughout the early 1960s. To battle this decline, Daimler-Benz commissioned the engineer Ludwig Krause, who was brought in as technical director in Ingolstadt, to adapt a four-cylinder, four-stroke engine for the new DKW F102. This new car from Auto Union was launched in 1965 and was the company's first post-war design with a four-stroke engine. Despite the launch of the new four-stroke, four-cylinder vehicle, Daimler-Benz decided to dispose of the Auto Union business due to its lack of profitability. In 1964, Volkswagen acquired a 50% holding in the business. This included the new factory in Ingolstadt, the DKW and Audi brands, along with the rights to the new engine design, funded by Daimler-Benz. Daimler-Benz, in return, retained the Dorman-Horch trademark and the Dusseldorf factory, which became a Mercedes-Benz van assembly plant. 18 months later, Volkswagen bought complete control of the Auto Union's Ingolstadt factory, and by 1966 they were using the spare capacity of the Ingolstadt plant to assemble an additional 60,000 Volkswagen Beetles per year. Initially, Volkswagen was hostile to the idea of Auto Union as a standalone entity producing its own models, having acquired the company merely to boost its production capacity through the Ingolstadt assembly plant, to the point where Volkswagen executives ordered that the Auto Union name and flags bearing the four rings were removed from the factory buildings. Then VW chief Heinz Nordhoff explicitly forbade Auto Union from any further product development. This could have been the end of Audi, and it might have never been reborn, sitting as one of the dormant brands under VW's ownership. However, Ludwig Krause, at that time head of development and a member of the board of management, went ahead in secret with the development of a new Audi model. When presented with a finished prototype, Nordhoff was so impressed that he authorized the car for production, which launched in 1968. The resulting car was first presented to the international press in Ingolstadt in November 1968 and was a huge success. Its name was Audi 100. This German car skillfully combined excellent handling, smoothness, and excellent performance, making it undoubtedly very attractive in the early 70s. Audi followed the introduction of the four-door saloon in November 1968 with a two-door saloon in October 1969 and the 100 Coupe S in autumn 1970. The Audi 100 was the first vehicle to have shaken off all genetic links with the former DKW models. The huge success of this new Audi proved its creators right. The Audi 100 also helped Auto Union to preserve its separate identity. As a result, only Audi survived from the original Auto Union. With VW taking control, the automaker started to once again use its original name, Audi. Soon the manufacturer released its new front-wheel drive model, and by 1968 the brand had a fairly good range of models and excellent sales. Since that time, all Audis have carried the familiar emblem with four circles, which became a symbol of the merger of four companies in 1932. It was in 1969 when Audi finally got its own plant. VW acquired NSU Motorenwerk AG together with a new plant in Neckarsulm. Then it merged Auto Union with NSU Motorenwerk and incorporated the newly merged company on January 1, 1969, with the name Audi NSU Auto Union AG, with its headquarters at NSU's Neckarsulm plant. This was the emergence of Audi as a separate brand for the first time since the pre-war era. In 1970, Audi began expansion into the US market. At first, only the Audi Super 90 sedan, station wagon, and the new Audi 100 were exported to the USA. American sales were going well. This later allowed the extension of the shipments to the USA, including shipments of Audi 80 models since 1973. In March 1971, the 500,000th Audi was produced. By now, the Audi 100 had become the most commercially successful model in the company's history. Already in 1976, the 2 millionth Audi was built, of which the Audi 100 represented 800,000 cars. Now that Audi had its own office and plant, it could start using the success of the Audi 100 and start designing new models. In 1972, the Audi 80 came out. Later, Audi 80 was also converted into a more luxurious version Audi 90. The Audi 80 was a compact executive car produced by the Audi subdivision of the Volkswagen Group across 4 generations from 1966 to 1996. It shared its platform with the Volkswagen Passat from 1973 to 1986 and was available as a sedan and station wagon. Audi marketed the latter as the Avant. In North America and Australia, Audi 80 was marketed as the Audi Fox for model years 1973 to 79 and as the Audi 4000 for model years 1980 to 87 in the US. Ultimately, the Audi 80 and 100, the original names for the current A4 and A6, became the company's biggest sellers. In 1974, the Audi 50, later rebadged as the Volkswagen Polo, started to be produced. The Audi 50 was a seminal design because it was the first incarnation of the Gaulle concept, one that led to a hugely successful world car. In 1974, a significant event took place. Ferdinand Piëch became the head of the design department. A grandson of Ferdinand Porsche, Piëch started his career at Porsche before leaving for Audi after an agreement that no member of the Porsche or Piëch families should be involved in the day-to-day operations of the Porsche company. During his time at Porsche between 1963 and 1971, he worked on developing the Porsche 906 and the following models that led to the successful Porsche 917. Years later, this period is called the Piëch era. It was during his leadership that Audi reached remarkable heights. These years saw the introduction of the 5-cylinder engine, 1976, turbocharging, 1979, and Quattro all-wheel drive, 1980. The Audi Quattro has become the car from which the latest history of passenger all-wheel drive started. Between 1981 and 1987, this model won 23 World Rally Championship rounds. The idea to create such a car arose in 1976 when the brand's engineers conducted test runs of the Volkswagen Iltis SUV for the Federal Republic of German Armed Forces. Noting the car's excellent handling on rough terrain, ice, and snow, Audi engineers decided to use a four-wheel drive for Audi's performance and rally racing cars. The model was a great success in rallying. Prominent wins proved the viability of all-wheel drive race cars, and the Audi name became associated with advances in automotive technology. The first four-wheel car, Audi Quattro, a turbocharged coupe, was also the first German large-scale production vehicle to feature a permanent all-wheel drive through a center differential. It made its debut at the Geneva Motor Show in 1980. At first, the model was critiqued for its complex design and excessive weight. But then the model started to succeed in rallying, with Quattro beating the competition in multiple races. Prominent wins proved the viability of all-wheel drive race cars, and the Audi name became associated with advances in automotive technology. To showcase the benefits of four-wheel drive, Audi came up with its famous 1986 TV commercial showing Audi Quattro driving up the snowy ski jump slope. To respond to skeptical claims that the car was pulled up with a winch, Audi repeated the drive, and the demand for its cars was skyrocketing. The all-wheel drive concept from this car is used in Audi models to this day. In 1982, large-scale production of all-wheel drive cars started. Gradually, the Quattro concept appeared in other Audi vehicles. In 1985, with the Auto Union and NSU brands effectively dead, the company's official name was now shortened to simply Audi AG. In 1990, the new restyled Audi 100 debuted with the internal designation C4. For the first time in the brand's history, the Audi car received a 6-cylinder V-engine, which was quite compact and powerful. At the end of 1993, the Audi Coupe, built on the basis of the Audi 80, debuted on the market. In 1991, the same model formed the basis of the convertible body. They got rid of the veteran in the Audi family only in the middle of 2000, when it was replaced by the Audi A4, first introduced in the fall of 1994. The A4 Avant station wagon and the A4 Cabrio Coupe Cabriolet were produced only in 2001. The flagship Audi A8 replenishes the brand's lineup in the fall of 1994. The first A3, borrowing a platform from the fourth-generation Golf, was shown to the public in the summer of 1996, but the car's production was not launched until the following year. The first A6 sedan was released in 1997. The car turned out to be very successful, and since 1998 the production of its station wagon version began. In the autumn of the same year, the company showed the conceptual A2, which got to the conveyor only by the beginning of 2000. So Audi began to develop a new for itself, but popular in the Euro Class B market. The sports coupe Audi TT debuts at the Geneva Motor Show in 1998, a roadster based on it appeared a year later. The TT prototype was first presented at the Frankfurt Motor Show in 1995. Since the beginning of the new millennium, the automaker has experienced a period of rapid development. The model range was completely updated, and many new models appeared. A new generation of the long-awaited Audi A6 sedan was released in 2001. The car received purely cosmetic changes in appearance and interior and also got new engines. The automaker was experimenting with aluminum and produced about 150,000 aluminum bodies for different models. In 2002, the upgraded Audi TT was produced with a modified front end and extended wheel arches. In the spring of the same year, the S3 hatchback was updated, which received a 225 horsepower engine and the ability to accelerate to 225 kilometers. Standard equipment received xenon, leather upholstery, a 6-speed manual, and 17-inch alloy wheels. At that time, the S3 became the most powerful representative of the segment in Europe. By the beginning of summer, the range of engines for the A4 is replenished with new engines with power from 150 to 165 horsepower, with which the car has become more economical and dynamic. In the summer, the manufacturer announces prices for charged RS6. The $85,000 car was produced in a limited edition of 400 copies, and each accelerated to a maximum of 250 km per hour. At the same time, another long-awaited debut takes place. A new generation of the Audi A8 appears. The rigidity of the body of a premium car is increased by 60%, and its safety and premium reach unprecedented heights. The fastest A8 of the second generation received a 550 horsepower engine. By the end of summer, there were rumors about the intention of the automaker to update the TT family. The A8 is in incredible demand, and factories are shifting to 3-shift operations to meet the needs of dealers. In September 2003, the first sketches of the future R8 hit the web. Then it becomes known that the car will receive a platform from the already debuted Lamborghini Gallardo. The beginning of 2005 was marked for the brand by the recognition of the A6 as the best car of the year in the world. The 5 millionth A6 comes off the assembly line. Audi is celebrating the 25th anniversary of its Quattro all-wheel drive technology. In honor of this event, a new generation RS4 is produced with a naturally aspirated 4.2-liter V8 engine and 420 horsepower. The brand is preparing to launch 2 SUVs in the Audi lineup at once, the Audi Q7 and its smaller brother Q5. Q7 goes on sale in the fall. Also, in 2005, Audi showcased its sportiest S8 with a 450 horsepower Lamborghini Gallardo V10 engine. For the base S8, the manufacturer asks for €97,600. And again, rumors. After the debut of Q7, no one doubts the subsequent debut of Q5, but there is also information about the possibility of replenishing the lineup with a compact crossover Q3. The novelty is planned to be based on the platform from the 5th generation Volkswagen Golf. Audi constantly innovates and excites with its updated and new models to keep up with the demands of the buyers and competition from Mercedes and BMW. The speed of innovation in the past 20 years accelerated for the three competitors, with Audi offering 37 different models, not counting the numerous sportback, coupe, convertible versions, and versions with different engines for sportier performance and diesel versions. Since 2005, Audi has expanded its fleet with Q5, Q3, Q4, and Q8 models for its SUV lineup. It also launched Q2 in 2016, later discontinued as Audi decided to go a different direction with its lineup and future endeavors. The brand is taking a broad approach to this subject field and pursuing several concepts, from purely electric drive systems and plug-in hybrids to an electric quattro powertrain. The Audi e-tron is a series of electric and hybrid cars shown by Audi from 2009 onwards. In 2012, Audi unveiled a plug-in hybrid version, the A3 Sportback e-tron, which was released to European retail customers in August 2014, and is slated for the US in 2015. A decade after unveiling the first e-tron concept at the 2009 International Motor Show Germany, Audi's first fully electric e-tron SUV went into production in 2019. Since then, Audi has released several models with e-tron engines: the Q8 e-tron, Q8 e-tron Sportback, e-tron GT, Q4 e-tron, Q4 Sportback e-tron, and Q5 e-tron. Since starting the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Audi's signed a deal to sponsor, promote, and provide vehicles for several films. So far, these have been Iron Man, Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3, Avengers, Age of Ultron, Captain America, Civil War, Spider-Man, Homecoming, Avengers, Endgame, and Spider-Man: Far From Home. The R8 supercar became the personal vehicle for Tony Stark, played by Robert Downey Jr., for 6 of these films. The e-tron vehicles were promoted in Endgame and Far From Home. Several commercials were co-produced by Marvel and Audi to promote several new concepts and some of the latest vehicles, such as the A8, SQ7, and the e-tron fleet. Audi plans to have more than 20 fully electric models in its portfolio by 2025. By as early as 2026, the only new models the brand with the 4 rings releases on the market will be fully electric. In addition, Audi works on autonomous driving, and Audi is continuously expanding its Connect services in all models. Innovation does not stop for Audi. Audi is transforming itself continuously. It seems it got this in its DNA since the beginning of the 20th century, when its founder, August Horch, was constantly preoccupied with making his cars better, faster, and most innovative. And with its continuous innovation and improvement of its vehicles, we can be sure that Audi will continue to bring the excitement and joy of driving its cars in the future. Let us know what you think about Audi. As for our video, this is it for today. Please rate our video, and if you liked it, don't forget to subscribe. We will be back with our inspiring stories about brands and the outstanding personalities behind them.